everyone, my name is Kristin Hayes. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we're going to be making this pretty birthday card using new products from the January to April 2023 mini catalog, or as I like to call it, the spring catalog. So we're going to start here with a piece of Balmy Blue, and it's cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and I did score it at 4 1/4. Then I have a piece of the Regency Park DSP, and let me show you that really quick. It's a 6 by 6 pack, and it's all florals and then some patterns on the other side. Really pretty paper. And let me just, I'll show you this back part as well really quickly. But you get quite a bit of paper in it, and all the patterns coordinate so nicely together. So we've got that. This one is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. Then I have a piece, this is from the same pack. This is cut at 5 1/4 by 1.5. And then I have a piece of Mango Melody, and this is also cut at 5 1/4, but then 1 5/8. So let's just start by putting this together to get it out of our way. Let's see if this wants to work for me this morning. It's been giving me fits all morning. All right, so we're just going to adhere this to the Mango Melody. It goes edge to edge this way, and then you have just a small border across the top and bottom. It doesn't want to work going this way, but it will work going this way. I don't get it. Maybe it's the way I'm pressing on it or something. So then we're just going to put this right on the other piece of DSP, and then we'll adhere it right to our base, and we'll have all those pieces out of the way while we do our stamping. All right. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take a scrap piece here of just basic white, and I'm going to be using stamps. These stamps are from Petal Park. Now we're going to be using the sentiments from Sentimental Park, and these two coordinate together. You can obviously use them on their own. There are dies to go with this one, and this Petal Park has the Petal Park Builder Punch, which we will use today as well. All right, that was a mouthful. So what I'm going to start to do is on these flowers, I like to start with the lighter color first, and I'm going to do Petal Pink for the bulk of the flower, and then we'll do the outline in Sweet Sorbet. So I'm just going to stamp, and I like to look at my stamp how I'm going to punch it so I can get it on the paper the way the paper will feed into the punch. So that looks about right. Give that a good press. Then we're going to come in with the outline in Sweet Sorbet. And then we're just going to line it up. Now, let's see how good I can get it looking at an angle. I think that looks pretty good. Let's see how I did. Not too bad, a little bit off, but that's all right. Flowers are not perfect anyways, so. All right, so we're just going to feed it into the punch, and it'll punch out all three at the same time. Now, if you wanted to do your leaf at the same time, you could. You can make a template with your Stamparatus and line up the leaf as well. I find it just as easy to do on its own. So instead of bringing out the Stamparatus, making a template, I just do the leaf on its own. So we're going to come in, this time I'm going to do the outline first. For whatever reason, I found the leaves, it was easier for me to do the outline and then fill in the center. So we have Night of Navy. I'm just going to stamp here, and I'll stamp up here so we have room for that punch, because I want 2 of them. And then I'm going to come in with Balmy Blue, and we're just going to fill those in like that and like that. That one's way off. Let's do that one again. Way off. That's what happens when I try and punch from far away. All right, so we need the Night of Navy again. There we go. And then let's see if I can get it better this time. There we go. That looks much better. Okay, so let's punch these leaves out. So I'm just going to cut where we punch the flowers off so I can fit it easier into the punch. There we go. And now we'll do our second one. Well, let me punch all the way through so the flowers can come out. We don't need these, but you could always use those for another project if you wanted a solid color flower. All right. And we'll just line that one up in here. There we go. So that's all we need the punch for. So now let's work on our sentiment. And you know what? I can do the sentiment right on here. So we're going to come back in. Now this is out of the Sentimental Park stamp set that I showed you in the beginning. And we're going to start with Let's Celebrate. And I'm going to use Sweet Sorbet for that. Let's Celebrate. And then we're going to come in with Happy Birthday. I've got ink all over my thumb, of course. All right. And then, oops, that's upside down. How many times have you done that before? I know I have. Happy Birthday. All right. So to cut these out, we're going to be using the Something Fancy dies. Now let me grab those. These are great. This actually has a coordinating sentiment set that goes with it, but we're just going to be using these two dies that go in it. But these are great for cutting out sentiments. I always look for a set that can do that. Instead of just always having a rectangle or square or something, circle for your sentiment. So let me just cut this extra off. And we're just going to be using Petal Pink for the outer one. It's just a scrap piece of Petal Pink. I'll bring the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine up. Let's see how I can fit it on. Hopefully you can still see on the side here. All right, so we're just going to put that on there, and then we're just going to center the sentiment in here. All right. There we go. And we'll just run it through quickly. Grab these and put them aside. Then we've got our two pieces. Now, because there's a lot of white space on the sentiment, I wanted to just fill that in a little bit. So I'm just going to take a scrap piece of grid paper here. And these are the little dots. And these are out of the Petal Park. So the same stamp set we did the flowers and the leaf from. And we're just going to add a little dots just so it's not so stark on its own. And it just takes a minute here to fill it in. You don't have to get every space, but there we go. That might be one over here. All right, that looks pretty good. And now we're going to assemble these pieces together. So this one just gets put right on, snailed on, or sealed on. I keep saying snail lately. It's a seal. You know, when you work so many years with a snail and then they change it on you, but it's been changed for quite a bit now. Alrighty, so then we're just going to put this on right about here, about halfway to that Petal Pink across. And then for the flowers, what I did is, I think this one I just did with some seal. There we go. And then the other two, I did use dimensionals. So let's see what I've got for dimensionals here. That's the small ones. Here's a bigger one. So I'm going to put this one right about here, and then we'll slide this little one in between the two, like so. All right, and then for these, I'm going to use glue dots, just because I don't want them popped up quite as much, but I didn't want them flat either. So this is a nice compromise. Just adhere that, like so. And then we've got one more on here for the other one. And we'll tuck this one in up here. So then I thought it just needed a little bit of bling. So let's see if I can find that. Here we go. This is the Iridescent Pastel Gems. And this is in the spring catalog as well. So what I did is I used a big pink one here in the middle. Like that. And then I just used 2 smaller of the blues on either side of that pink one. There we go. Maybe, what did I do with it? Just, there it is. Sticking right to the paper. Wrong paper. All right. There we go. So that's all there is to it. So here's the one we made together, and here's our original. And if you have any questions, please just leave them listed down below. All of my socials will be below. And thanks so much for watching.